The religious situation. Religion of the Arabs. Most of the Arabs had complied with the call of Ismail, peace be upon him, and professed the religion of his father Ibrahim, peace be upon him. They had worshipped Allah, professed his oneness, and followed his religion a long time until they forgot part of what they had been reminded of. However, they still maintained such fundamental beliefs such as monotheism as well as various other aspects of Ibrahim's religion, until the time when a chief of Khuza'ah named Amr ibn Luhay, who was renowned for righteousness, charity, reverence, and care for religion, and was granted unreserved love and obedience by his tribesmen, came back from a trip to Syria where he saw people worship idols, a phenomenon he approved of and believed to be righteous since Syria was the locus of messengers and scriptures. He brought with him an idol, Hubal, which he placed in the middle of Kaaba and summoned people to worship it. Readily enough, paganism spread all over Mecca and hence to Hijaz. People of Mecca being custodians of not only the sacred house but the whole haram as well. Great many idols bearing different names were introduced into this area. An idol called Mana, for instance, was worshipped in a place known as Al-Mushallal near Qadid on the Red Sea. Another Allat in Ta'if, Etat al-Uzza in the valley of Nakhla, and so on and so forth. Polytheism prevailed and the number of idols increased everywhere in Hijaz. It was even mentioned that Amr ibn Luhay, with the help of a jinn companion who told him that the idols of Nuh's folk, Wudda, Suwa, Yaghuth, Ya'uq, and Nasr, were buried in Jeddah, dug them out and took them to Tihama. Upon pilgrimage time, the idols were distributed among the tribes to take back home. Every tribe and house had their own idol, and the sacred house was also overcrowded with them. On the Prophet's conquest of Mecca, 360 idols were found around the Kaaba. He broke them down and had them removed and burnt up. Polytheism and worship of idols became the most prominent feature of the religion of pre-Islam Arabs, despite alleged profession of Ibrahim's religion. Traditions and ceremonies of the worship of their idols had been mostly created by Amr ibn Luhay and were deemed as good innovation rather than deviations from Abraham's religion. The Arabs believed that such idols or heathen gods will bring them nearer to Allah, lead them to Him, and mediate them with Him for their sake. To which effect the Quran goes, "We worship them only that they may bring us near to Allah." Quran chapter 39 verse 3. And they worship besides Allah things that hurt them not nor profit them, and they say, "These are our intercessors with Allah." Quran chapter 10 verse 18. Another divinatory tradition among the Arabs was casting of Azlam, which they used to do in case of serious matters like travel, marriage, and the like. If the Lord shot yes, they would do. If no, they would delay for the next year. Other kind of Azlam were cast for water, blood money, or shot from you, not from you, or muslaq, consociated. In cases of doubt in filiation, they will resort to the idol of Hubal with 100 camel gift for the arrow caster. Only the arrows would then decide the sort of relationship. If the arrow shot from you, then it was decided that the child belonged to the tribe. If it shot from others, he will then be regarded as an ally, but inconsociated appeared. The person will retain his position but with no lineage or alliance contract. People of pre-Islamic period, while believing in superstition, they still retain some of the Abrahamic traditions such as devotion to the Holy Sanctuary, circumambulation, observance of pilgrimage, the vigil on Arafah, and offering sacrifices. All of these were observed fully, despite some innovations that adulterated these holy rituals. Quraysh, for example, out of arrogance, feeling of superiority to other tribes, and pride in their custodianship of the sacred house, will refrain from going to Arafah with the crowd. Instead, they would stop short at Muzdalifah. The noble Quran rebuked and told them, "Then depart from the place whence all the people depart." Quran chapter 2 verse 199. Another heresy, deeply established in their social tradition, dictated that they would not eat dry yogurt or cooked fat, nor would they enter a tent made of camel hair or 6 shirts or less in a house of Arab bricks, so long as they are committed to the intention of pilgrimage. They also, out of a deeply rooted misconception, denied pilgrims, other than Meccans, access to the food they had brought when they wanted to make pilgrimage or lesser pilgrimage. They ordered pilgrims coming from outside Mecca to circumambulate Kaaba in the Quraysh uniform clothes, but if they could not afford them, men were to do so in a state of nudity, and women with only some piece of cloth to hide their groins. Allah said in this concern, O children of Adam, take your adornments while praying and going round the Kaaba. Quran chapter 7 verse 31. Such was the religious life in Arabia: polytheism, idolatry, and superstition. Judaism, Christianity, Magianism, and Sabianism, however, could find their ways easily into Arabia. When Islam dawned on that land, there had already been several famous Jewish tribes: Khaybar, Al-Mustaliq, Al-Nadir, Qurayza, and Qaynuqa. In some versions, the Jewish tribes counted as many as 20. Judaism was introduced into Yemen by someone called As'ad Abi Karb. He had gone to fight in Yathrib, and there he embraced Judaism and then went back, taking with him 2 rabbis from Bani Qurayza to instruct the people of Yemen in this new religion. Judaism found a fertile soil there to propagate and gain adherents. After his death, his son Yusuf Dhu Nawas rose to power, attacked the Christian community in Najran, and ordered them to embrace Judaism. When they refused, he ordered that a pit of fire be dug and all the Christians indiscriminately be dropped to burn therein. Estimates say that between 20 to 40,000 Christians were killed in that human massacre. The Quran related part of that story in Al-Buruj, Zodiacal Signs chapter. Christianity had first made its appearance in Arabia following the entry of the Abyssinian and Roman colonies into that country. The Abyssinian colonization forces in league with Christian missions entered Yemen as a retaliatory reaction for the antiquities of Dhu Nawas, and started vehemently to propagate their faith. They even built a church and called it Yemeni Kaaba, with the aim of directing the Arab pilgrimage caravans towards Yemen. And they made an attempt to demolish the sacred house in Mecca. Allah the Almighty, however, did punish them and made an example of them here and hereafter. A Christian missionary called Phimeon, and for his ascetic behavior and working miracles, had likewise infiltrated into Najran. There he called people to Christianity, and by virtue of his honesty and truthful devotion, he managed to persuade them to respond positively to his invitation and embrace Christianity. The principal tribes that embraced Christianity were Ghassan, Taghlib, Tai, and some Himyari kings, as well as other tribes living on the borders of the Roman Empire. Magianism was also popular among the Arabs living in the neighborhood of Persia, Iraq, Bahrain, Al-Ahsa, and some areas on the Arabian Gulf Coast. Some Yemenis are also reported to have professed Magianism during the Persian occupation. As for Sabianism, excavations in Iraq reveal that it had been popular amongst Chaldean folks, the Syrians and Yemenis. With the advent of Judaism and Christianity, however, Sabianism began to give way to the new religions, although it retained some followers mixed or adjacent to the Magians in Iraq and the Arabian Gulf.